Lovely. And is there something you want to mention about what was able to, say, for example, have Gaia come back online and have beings like her here to connect now? What was, say, the most significant?
For her to come back right now, you mean?
Yes, how you said she's coming back online. How did the shift?
The shift, let's see, let me check.
Mm-hmm.
It's just time. There was a contract. It's just time for that to be over. There was some kind of agreement between Source and the Dark to be able to inhabit this planet for so long, and then the agreement is over. It's done. Because and it's not going to turn out so good for them, because the agreement with Source was that they would give up at a certain point and let go of the control, and they are choosing not to. They keep choosing the wrong way. They keep choosing it, and Source keeps letting them have it, and they keep taking the wrong turn, and Source keeps letting them have it. But it's being, right now, it's the contract is being abolished right now.
Okay.
It's already done. Actually, it's done, but it's just taking. We've got to do it in a way to where the humans can come online with us, kind of like she is coming online. The rest of the humans that are going to go to that dimension of Earth where all this is going to happen, they have to be in line. And there are those that will not. There'll be those that want to stay in the illusion, and they will stay in the illusion on their dimension. And there's no judgment. Those of us that came in, star seeds that have come here, we've come here for this. We are not staying in that dimension. Right now. Yeah. Yeah, we know better.
And would you say, though, is there some star seeds that would forget themselves as well with the illusion?
Let me check. Yeah, there are still some in illusion, but they can ascend in that dimension as well. So everybody's going at some point. Everybody's ascending at some point. So they can go too. They might have to cross. They might have to stay there for a while to wake up. They might have to have some hard knocks to remember why they came. So, and that's their journey. That's their, that's for their soul's purpose. So it's not an accident.
Yes. Would it be easier, though, for them to come into this realization now versus having to go to that space you're talking about?
Absolutely. And that's our job. That's our job, is to wake up our brothers and our sisters and our families and our that's our job. We have to do it in a way that it's not invading their personal soul contract and their right. We don't want to invade in any way. Through love only.
Yes. Beautiful. Thank you. I had really recently shared a session where Archangel Michael was talking, and I wanted to see your views on this. He had talked about, so we had, since you're similarly talking about what happens after the shift, the ascension, or even what some people call the event, Archangel Michael likes to call it an event, as he says it's several. So there was some kind of, say, controversy. Some people don't understand. So I was wondering what your thoughts were. He talked about where are the spirits going to go, the beings that, say, choose to, within their free will, like you said, lost. It's similar in their illusion. Where do they go after, say there is a final physical shift, finally? Where is it that they go? What are your thoughts on that?
It's just a dimension. It's kind of like the planet with the rocks. It's there, you just don't see it.
Mm-hmm.
So they could be having complete horrific hell around them, fire, brimstone, where you're sitting in a coffee shop talking to your best friend and you don't see it. The sun's shining, it's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
They're in a different dimension, and it's all in frequency. That's why they talk about the love frequency, the love frequency. You
Mm-hmm.
must have the love frequency to abide and be in this frequency. It's about the frequency. It's nothing personal. It's really nothing personal. And you know, I can't see whether it's a different planet. Maybe it's a different planet.
Mm-hmm.
But what's the difference? Really?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you're on a different frequency, you are on a different planet.
Mm-hmm.
What's the difference between that and a jump room?
Yes.
Do you remember what a jump room looks like? The jump room, you walk into an elevator and all of a sudden you're in a different planet.
Mm-hmm.
That's a jump room. It's the same thing. It's just a different frequency.
Mm-hmm.
However, here it's just frequency. It's not actually going to a different planet.
Mm-hmm.
Like collapsing time. There's more to it. There's more science to it than that, but that's the best way I can explain it.
Yes. Very good. And do you have any messages for those that kind of feel like they're going to get, because they're somewhat awakened, they're going to get a ride straight into the event? Do you have any words to that as far as what we've spoken about today, and any advice for them as far as what they need to do?
Stay in the heart.
Mm-hmm.
Stay in the heart. Just keep. It's very difficult because from Jackie's point of view,
Mm-hmm.
we are immersed with so much darkness. The humans are immersed in so much darkness.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the starseeds have their time to meditate and pray and be among those that are like each other, but they still have to go live. They still have to go to their jobs. They still have to.
Mm-hmm.
They still have to function. They still have to feed their families, and it's just to remember that it doesn't. You have to remember that where you are is where you're supposed to be right now, and that there's no leaving. We're not going anywhere. The frequency is just going to change, and we're hopefully going to our frequency is going to change with it. So your job as a starseed is to keep your heart and frequency as high as possible, and to assist all those that are struggling,
Mm-hmm.
all those that are going to their job every day and don't see what we're seeing. Be kind to them. Be kind when they're angry at you and mad at you.
Mm-hmm.
Be kind to anybody in the grocery store. Somebody in front of you can't pay for their food. You pay for their food.
Mm-hmm.
That is our job. That is why we're here. That is why we're here. We're not here to go anywhere. We're not going anywhere. It's our frequency that's going to change. And
Mm-hmm.
we are to hold that frequency no matter what we're doing. And we're human. We're going to get angry. We're going to get upset. We're going to have all those things happen.
Mm-hmm.
All you do is give it to source and replace it with love again. It's not that big a deal.
Yes. I think it's forgotten a lot as well that in order to say reach that ascension, like you said, that key is love.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. That's
Yes.
very much forgotten.
Yes, it is. And we're here now. We chose to be here. We chose to be here right now. We're not going anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
You can change your frequency, though. You can raise your frequency.
Yes.
So you're not going anywhere. As you stabilize at the love frequency, you will be able to reach higher and higher and higher up towards God's source. I think there's billions and billions of frequencies between this frequency and God's source. Maybe even, probably infinite. I can't even put a number on it.
Yes.
So
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I think think of that as like a jump, a board which you jump off into a pool. This is that the love frequency will introduce you to all those frequencies. Once you attain love frequency and jump off, really understanding and immersing yourself in the love frequency,
Mm-hmm.
then you jump off into that's basically ascension, I believe, into these other higher frequencies.
Mm-hmm.
But it has to be mastered first.
Yes. And going back to how you had mentioned that it was a contract that basically the negative, say, polarized entities were supposed to do what their their role, and then they were supposed to let go.
Oh, yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
the dark ones, the Dracos,
Mm-hmm.
the white Dracos took over this planet many thousands of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And they turned it into a slave planet.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a contract that they would be allowed to inhabit here, or I can't remember what completely the contract is, but
Mm-hmm.
that they would inhabit here, and then at some point that the slaves would be let go, and Gaia would be able to return to her former beauty.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened is instead of they got greedy. Well, they are greedy. That's just their nature. The Dracos, that's just their darkness. But they are of light as well. That's just a learning path for them. Let's give them that. But
Mm-hmm.
that's their nature, and they like power and they like control. And so, unfortunately, it grew in them. It grew in them. Instead of them finding light in them, finding a lesson out of it, they went the other way.
Mm-hmm.
And many of them have already been burned and have to start out completely all over again as a rock or
Yes.
a low amoeba life form, because they would not relent. They would not.
Mm-hmm.
It's happening now. It's all the ones that will not let go are being taken to Saturn.
And you said that they're burned, transmuted to light.
Yep,
Yes.
transmuted back into source.
Yes.
They're recycled.
Yes.
Recycled back into source. Yep.
Yes, that's a great explanation. As you know, we do find reptilian consciousness within people through the aura, and we try to aid reptilians to positive polarize instead of being recycled back to source. So
Right.
thank you for talking more on that. Now, about the Saturn, what can you tell me about Saturn, how you're saying they're being taken to Saturn?
Let me see.
Mm-hmm.
Saturn is a planet of, it's kind of like I see it as being a great big courthouse. It's kind of like where you go to be judged. It's where you go to pay for something that you did, or make something right that you wrong, or make something right that you did wrong there. It's kind of like I see this round table and these councils all over, and it's council of from every different star being you could possibly imagine, sitting on this council, and they're all elders. They're all respected light elders that are sitting on this council to help them find a way, to help them to find a way out of what they found themselves into, in whichever planet they did it, or whatever galaxy they did it, or whatever, stellar system they did it.
Mm-hmm.
There's many of, I don't think Saturn's the only one, but Saturn is the one for this galaxy, from what I understand.
Okay.
And they are brought there and basically put in front of the council members to say, how do we fix this? How do we amend this? How do we change your mind or your heart? How do we do this? Will you change your heart and do what you said you were going to do? And these Draco Reptilians are saying, I'd rather die. And they're saying, okay, well, that's what happens. And
Mm.
so it's kind of like a reform station in a way.
Mm-hmm. Very, very good. Let's see. And if you could walk us through, say they decide to, say, die.
Mm-hmm.
How do they take care of this? How do they help them? How do they do that?
They just disintegrate right then and there.
Mm-hmm.
They just go into this. They just go to God's source. It's kind of like I see a funnel almost, and this funnel just like disintegrates them. It goes up the funnel, and they're just back to source.
Mm. And why Saturn out of all the planets in our system? What's different about Saturn to be able to do this here?
Mm. Let's see. It's just the frequency around it allows everything to be able to come in and out. There's a frequency around it that allows anything and everything to come in and out of it and not hurt it.
So is it kind of like the energy there shifts to whatever being entities coming into contact?
Right. It can handle anything coming in and out, no matter what frequency they are, very, very dark or very like ninth dimensional beings or whatever. It's able to handle it. It's the frequency there is able to hold justice for all that frequency.
Mm-hmm. And therefore, you're saying that it molds into whatever, say, perhaps atmosphere, energy, frequency that being needs to be able to stay within it.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Kind of morphs around it and protects it so it can function there. So if it's an aquatic being or or let's say a being that needs to be in that lives in a rock, because that's a frequency too. It can it's able to just morph around it and allow it to go anywhere it wants on the planet and not suffer in any way, suffer any consequences.
Yes, very good. Thank you. Yes, I'm seeing all this with you, so thank you. Lovely. Very good. Anything else you want to tell us about Saturn before we move on?
No, not really. Unless you have questions.
Let me think. And who is it, for example, that would bring a reptilian that's been caught? Who'd be in charge of this? How would they catch a reptilian, and how would they bring it, and who?
Well, there's a council of Andromedan Council, Arcturian Council. There's all these councils out there that have their own little armies. And they basically surround them and put them in a force field. Kind of like what you'd see in Star Trek. They're able to work together and put them in a force field and shut their ship down and take them in. That's what I'm seeing. It's like they're all working together because if Gaia doesn't ascend, nobody else ascends. This whole galaxy is waiting for Gaia.
Yes. Would you say that it was supposed to ascend a while ago? Like, are we late?
Yes. We're in another 25,000 year cycle because of them saying, no, we're not going to do it, and Source allowing them to do it to see what happens, to see if they will turn their heart, and that's not going to happen again.
this will be the last
This is
25,000.
we're at the end of our we're at the very end of this 25,000 year cycle, and it's ending. It's done. 2012 was the ending.
Mm-hmm. And so we are already past that, and are we then
we're on track. It's everything is on track.
good?
Yes.
So even though it has ended, how are we extending that?
Well, we're not extending it. It's just that you got to think about how we have to recalibrate all these humans.
Mm-hmm.
Humans have to be recalibrated. They've lived many, many lives here.
Yes.
Many lives here. They have to be recalibrated. They have to be restructured. We're bringing in the waves more frequent now, and
Mm-hmm.
they're doing very well. It's fine. It's all good. It's on track. But it takes time. Everybody's thinking that's going to be one big flash. It's not possible right at this point. It's just going to be waves and waves and waves and waves. And some waves will be bigger and it will seem like an event. And for some people, it will be an event. It's the ascension process is also individual. Kind of like the story I told you of the woman sitting in a coffee shop and the other woman's world is falling down around her.
Mm-hmm.
This process is very much the same. It's an individual process.
Yes.
There's many humans that have already ascended. They're already living in their Shangri-La.
And these humans that have already ascended, do they still have a physical body here, though?
Some of them do, and some of them choose not to.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Thank you. All that you said aligns with what I'm told, as who I am. So it all is very beautiful and affirming to my heart. Thank you for all of it.
Thank you for being you.
Thank you. Is there anything that I could have asked of this that I haven't before we move on to speaking to the higher self? Though I have a feeling that the higher self has already been here. You are the higher self.
No, you've asked plenty.
Very good.
A lot to chew on.
Yes, a lot. Are you the higher self?
Yes.
Very good. Thank you. Now, she wants to know who is her soul family.
Pleiadians. Pleiadians. Her soul seed. Pleiadians.
Lovely. Do they have a message for her as her soul family?
Let's see. You're doing a good job. It's hard down there. They're laughing like they wouldn't do it. See what I mean? Jumping, doing things you shouldn't be doing. Yeah.
Brave she is.
How brave all of the starseeds are.
Yes.
All the starseeds are brave.
Thank you. And she wants to know, will she ascend to the new earth with her family?
Yes. Yes, everybody's going, but like we talked about earlier, they say that families will be separating, and it's not true. That's not true. It's think of it as putting on those Google goggles. The Google goggles, you see one thing, and the person next to you sees something completely different. It's all on your frequency. So by her raising her frequency, she is going to experience heaven on earth. If her husband chooses not to raise the frequency to the level that allows him to see what she sees, he won't see it. It's just that easy. It's nothing. It's nothing that is a big mystery.
Yes.
At least to us.
Was that a fear-based type of false light information being given to people that families would be separated?
Yes.
So that they would remain here or not want to ascend?
Well, it's to bring fear because
bring fear.
Yeah.
Okay.
They bring fear. They enslave. They're able to control and. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.